Signal 2-3. Former CIA official warns of a red bloodbath. Michael Schur, a former senior official with the Central Intelligence Agency, says House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has signed the Democrat Party's death warrant. Schur writes, "If, Madam Speaker, you and your party make good on your pledge and plot to steal the election, your demise also will come to you constitutionally through the application of the Second Amendment." He concluded, "Speaker Pelosi, you and your army of Democrat and Republican authoritarians and red miragers will find payback in a catastrophically lethal experience." The Observer's note. Polls have shown that Americans think the left is more likely to react to Trump victory with violence. But some on the right have been increasingly vocal about militant solutions if the election is perceived as stolen by the Democrats. Recent talk of a red mirage scenario in which Trump is ahead on election day but slowly loses to Biden with mail-in votes has further stoked concerns over the election's integrity. BLM activists call for regime change and denounce democratic process. Protesting President Trump's rally in Philadelphia, Black Lives Matter activists denounced the election and urged for more direct action. One protester said, "We do not win if we sit back and wait for November. We do not win if we rely on an election that this regime is telling you they will not respect. We need to drive this regime from power." Another protester said, "The Electoral College looks like a red carpet for the KKK." Editor's note, or rather observer's note. Insurgencies undermine the government by convincing populations that democratic processes are corrupted or flawed. It is easier to recruit revolutionaries to overthrow the government if that government is deemed illegitimate, and if people believe they have no peaceful mechanisms to guide policy. Anarchist instructs on the use of area denial weapons. Anarchist author Peter Gelderloos instructed on how to manufacture and encourage the use of rebar caltrops to continued instances of far-left riots. Makeshift caltrops and other area denial weapons, such as spike strips, have been utilized by rioters in Portland, Oregon over the summer to disable police vehicles. Gelderloos also encouraged people to acquire metal working tools as a, quote, must-have for any radical community, unquote. Observers note, early stage insurgencies often have limited access to weapons. The gathering of materials, dissemination of weapons making knowledge, and recruitment of applicable skills such as metalworking indicate the far left is bolstering its capabilities. Leftists organize White House occupation protest. Leftist group Black Spot Collective is planning a 50-day-long protest outside of the White House and at federal buildings across the country starting 17 September. Well, that was the other day. The White House siege is being advertised as a non-violent protest to prevent President Trump from potentially stealing the election. Black Spot Collective is the activist wing of Adbusters, the group that organized the Occupy Wall Street protests 9 years ago. In tactical briefings, the organizers say, let's screw up our courage, stuff our backpacks with the tools of nonviolent revolution, and head to Lafayette Square. And if need be, we will be ready to reconvene at any time after that to ensure the peaceful transition of power. Observers note, leading up to Election Day, this protest is reformist, seeking to undermine the Trump administration and compel the American people to elect Biden over Trump. If Trump wins re-election, however, continued occupation to remove him then becomes revolutionary. In addition, there has been a notable increase in armed far-left groups and openly revolutionary groups since the Occupy Wall Street protests of 2011. They will likely seize upon this event to carry out acts of disruption, destruction, and violence. As a note, as of the recording of this video, and this will come up later, it appears that the protest has been canceled. But like I said, that will I'll bring that up in another video. But the reason this is important now is because it does show organizing, it does label the groups, and just because they say it's canceled at this time doesn't mean it's canceled, or doesn't mean it won't reconvene in some other form. So, Black Panthers intimidating citizens in Virginia. A group known as the Original Black Panthers of Virginia have been intimidating residents and workers in Portsmouth, Virginia area in response to alleged acts of racism. The group forced businesses to close, forced apologies for disrespecting the black community, interfered with police duties, and intimidated landlords in disputes with black tenants. On film, members appeared to intimidate one business employee with a firearm into apologizing to a woman referred to as a black queen. Observer's note: unlike revolutionary groups like that in Portland, this recent group and the NFAC coalition are separatist insurgencies that seek autonomy within the U.S. or the creation of a separate ethno-state. Alrighty then. Signal 2-3.